You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. Right, there's one with frogs with hats on, and there's... Oh no, that's got hogs with bats on. And this one has stripes, which means it must go with... Oh no, because this one has the feeling you get if you run down a hill too fast and feel a bit sick. Oh, this is very annoying. Oh, hello. Welcome to Radio Nonsense, the official Comedy Club for Kids podcast, suitable for all ages from... to...
sausages.
And everything in between. I'm still Tiernan, I always am, and I'm very sorry, but you've caught me this week while I'm trying to sort out all of my odd socks. I seem to have loads that are odd because they don't match, and that doesn't make any sense because there definitely used to be a second sock that went with them. I mean, this one, for example, I'm sure you can imagine it, is a special glow-in-the-dark sock that, I can't have lost the other one at night, or I'd have seen it, it would just show up. This one is a cement sock for when I don't want to go anywhere, and yet the other one has gone somewhere. I don't know where it's gone. This one's quite big. This one is a wind sock that goes outside to show how windy it is. And yeah, you've guessed it. I've no idea where the other wind sock is. Okay, I'm not actually sure that one was part of a pair, or even why I have a wind sock, as all it does is get blown around by the farting animals. But is this just what happens with socks? Linda, have you seen where all my other socks have gone? Linda? Where's Linda gone? Was she part of a pair of socks? And if so, where's the other Linda sock? Oh no, is she missing too? Maybe one of the socks eats the other sock. Is that a thing that happens? Or do they just go wandering off to do their own thing? I know. I don't know if you've got brothers or sisters, but I wouldn't want to hang around with my sibling that closely all day, especially if they stank of feety cheese. It must get very annoying every night being tucked up next to your stinky brother or sister in a drawer, and then the next day getting stuck onto smelly feet, stomped on all day, and then flung in the wash. I don't blame them. I don't blame those socks at all. If I was a sock, I would want to escape for a better life too. My right foot suddenly feels very cold. What? I was wearing two socks this morning, which were both the same with a lovely picture of a yak with sunglasses on saying, "Yak's right," and now my right foot is very cold and it has no sock on it. Where has it gone? I've just been right here with my socks on. This is very strange. Something is definitely afoot, or rather not on a foot. Okay, hang on, let me try an experiment. If I go to the fruit bowl and I write the word sock on each of these pears, and they become pairs of sock, what happens? Yeah, one just vanished. This is very strange. Right, well, I need to get on the case quickly because I have two jokes that you've sent in right here, and I'm worried if they're really funny that they sock it to the laughter muscles, then one of them might disappear. So, right, very quickly. This joke has been sent in by Charlotte, who is 5.5 farting gorillas old, which is, that is a great age to be. And thank you for this, Charlotte. This is an absolute belter of a gag. So here we go. Where did the kite go on holiday? To the Isle of Flight. Yeah, amazing. Incredible work. Very, very funny, Charlotte. I love it. And also, imagine the Isle of Flight. It sounds brilliant. And I would love to live there, but I bet sort of travelling there would be really tricky because the plane would try and land at the airport, but then it wouldn't be allowed to. It'd just have to keep going. You'd have to parachute out. Ugh, that'd be awful. And then we've got this amazing gag, which Ava, who is 11 cookbooks old, kindly sent in for her sister Elsie, aged 99.999999, aka 7 farming penguins. And I should say, I'm not sure if that's farming penguins as in someone's farming penguins. They're being grown on a farm. You know how you plant a penguin seed in the ground and then its head pops up after a few months of sunshine and watering. Or if they're farming penguins, as in they're penguins who own a farm and they farm other stuff like carrots or hats. I don't know. It does make a difference as to how old you are. But either way, thank you, Ava and Elsie, for this one. Why do Shetland ponies go to the pharmacist? Because they're a little horse. Amazing joke, Elsie. Thank you very much, both of you, for that amazing pair of jokes. Oh no, one has disappeared. Oh, well, this is ridiculous. Okay, very quickly then, thank you to all of you who've sent in questions this week. We do still need more, so if you can get your disgruntled burger heads, grown-ups, to help you email us questions, jokes, your favourite pair of socks, whatever you like really, to podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. That would be fantastic. I've also got to say a shout out. I I think that's how you do a shout out, isn't it? To Iona, who, I went to her school to teach a comedy workshop this week, and it turns out, when I was sort of talking to the class, sitting in there was a Radio Nonsense listener. That was Iona, so that was very exciting, and what a very fun and very bonkers bunch they were to teach comedy to as well. So yes, big shout out to Iona, but also everyone at Great Eastern Primary School. And that is something that we do at Comedy Club for Kids. Sometimes we teach comedy too. So if that's something that you think your school might like, or you want to come and see our live shows, then do head to comedyclub4kids.co.uk. And of course, you can grab our t-shirts or book, and not any socks. We don't do any socks at all at comedyclubforkids.store. Brr, my right foot is really cold now, so I've got to go put some socks on before I investigate why they keep going missing. Oh no, now my left one is gone. Okay, I've got to get a foothold on this, but while I do, you all listen to this most importantest bit. Yes, that is right. Here with me today on Radio Nonsense is Edy Hurst, who is also known as Bready Eddie, the dual baguette warrior, Monsieur Nedwardigan Herslons the Couteenth, and as all our Luxembourgish-speaking listeners will, of course, know you, Dien Ostertelli Austegate, die Mam Gesicht. But of course, Eddie, most people will know you as the pioneer of eating your dessert first and then not bothering with the mains, as the person mentioned as his biggest inspiration in the autobiography of Big Dan the Soup Man. And, I mean, I still can't believe I've got you here, but you are known for that time you accidentally stepped on a horse. Eddie, it's lovely to have you here. How are you doing?
Brilliant. Thank you for having me. And if that horse is listening, I am still sorry. I didn't plan for that. But also... why were you crouching? Wow. Who's seen a crouching horse before?
That is, I thought it was a yoga move, a crouching horse, but I've never seen an actual horse crouch.
Yeah, no, well, it turns out that's what, because every yoga move is actually based on a real thing that happens.
Is that true?
Yeah. Do you remember when that sun, do you remember that time a couple of years ago, there was that sun that was saluting everyone?
Yes.
And that's where salutation sun is from.
Oh my goodness, that's absolutely amazing. And Downward Dog is from what, when a dog fell over?
Yeah, fell down a big well.
Oh, that's awful.
Quite bad, but the dog had springs on its feet.
Wow.
So
straight back up.
Nightmare, actually, because then it went too high, got tangled in an eagle, and the only thing to get, if you've got a dog and an eagle, the only thing to get rid of that is to get a bigger bird,
right?
Like an elephant bird. And then, it's just a nightmare because you've got a winged elephant then. So what do you do with that?
I mean, this all sounds very... I had no idea of the history. Already we're learning things. I didn't realise. And I should just also say, there is, I don't want to sort of surprise you with this because I'm not sure, but there is a chance that horse is listening. We do have a wide range of listeners.
Sure.
And I have to say, I would have thought you'd have reached out to the horse before now. Or have you did you sort of run away and never confront the issue?
Well, there's a pretty good chance that the horse is listening because of those. We are still going through legal proceedings.
Right.
So I do have to be careful what I say about it. But all I will say is that I will be pleading nay.
Wow.
To the,
wow.
Hello?
Hello? I'm confused. Is in horse court, which I assume is where you're having to do with this, is nay positive or negative?
Now that is the tricky bit. I'm not sure. I need to figure that out because it might actually be that I'm saying guilty.
Yeah. I suppose it depends on the tone, maybe the tone in which, because horses say nays in a lot of different ways. I'm a poet, but don't know. Yeah. But so maybe it depends on how maybe you need to practice your positive or your not guilty nays.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said that was the first hurdle in horse court. There's a lot of them. Right. And a few steeples too.
Wow, right. And that sounds quite difficult just to get into the room. I mean, they don't make it easy for themselves.
No, but, well, in their defense, like, have you ever tried to get a horse in a human court? Like, it's very difficult for them to go up those stairs. So I think it's sort of their way of evening the playing field a bit.
That is true, actually. Yeah, it must be. You couldn't really get one in a witness box, even though they have their own boxes that they get in, but there's a different...
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Yeah. It just makes me think that we need to be more accessible for horses in our everyday day life, and perhaps if we were, you wouldn't.
Yeah, because this is why they never face justice.
Yeah, right.
That's why they never face justice.
Hang on a second, but you. Wow. Now look, I've got to be careful because I am very pleased that you're our guest, and I don't want to pretend. I don't want to seem like I'm not on your side in this. As you mentioned, the horse was crouching, but it did seem like you were the one that accidentally stepped on the horse. But here you are saying that horses don't face justice. Are you saying that it was the horse's fault? Are you saying that more things are horses' faults? How much are horses responsible for?
Oh, in terms of this crouching horse, hidden wagon, nothing to do with this case.
Right.
I just think a lot of horses, how often do you hear about a horse going behind bars? You don't see them at zoos.
No.
You don't see them anywhere.
No, you don't see them at zoos. How did they get out of that?
I don't know. Because do you see ducks fly into zoos every now and then?
Yeah.
As a little treat for themselves.
Well, also, a lot of zoos have like that little bit of a zoo that's called like a petting zoo, and it's always the rubbish animals.
Yeah,
it's like basically it's a farm, but we'll pretend it's more exotic. We'll call it a zoo. And you go in and go, I could have seen these guys at the farm because it's just a sheep and a pig and a duck. But there's never a horse. Yeah. They don't have a horse there.
No. But you would see the horse at the farm. How did they weasel out of it? How do they do it?
I don't know. Do you think there was like a thing with the zoo because they're like, well, you've already got zebras. You don't need us as well.
Yeah.
People might realize
maybe
the zebras are just stripy uzzes and they won't be as impressed.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask my friend who runs a zoo next time I see him.
You've got a friend that runs a zoo?
Yeah, a very specific zoo. Only animals that begin with A.
Wow. What was the decision behind that, do you know?
It's an embarrassing story, really. So a couple of Christmases ago, I bought him a big sort of encyclopedia of animals,
right?
And he loved it so much that he thought, I'm going to get into the animal business. It's about time. But he was so keen to get started and get the animals in. He wasted all of his budget on the first 3 pages.
Oh, that's tricky.
So obviously he's got like aardvark, anteater. Yeah. Anaconda. I mean, it's a pretty good mix, to be fair.
Axolotls? Any axolotls?
Yeah, he's got loads of that. Too many, if anything.
Wow. I mean, is there, because I suppose you could have, is he going by specific species? Because you could have all the amphibians.
I've only seen axolotls.
Right.
So far.
Apes? Has he got all the apes? Just, you gotta. It depends on how he spent his money.
No, there was I don't know if you heard about it. He was a member of a yacht club, and he lost all his apes.
Oh no! Oh, that's very sad. Very sad. They got bored. That's what happened?
Yeah. They got really bored.
Wow. Well, that's awful. Well, I just feel like because you could, if you were going through species, he's done pretty well. If you're going through individual, like types, I don't know if that's the correct term for when you got one of a species. Is it a type? Is it just a
I think it's a species.
A species,
a
right?
Species.
So if he's gone for a species of then I'm just curious of his methods.
So I think, from what I know, he's gone individual. Hang on. Is amphibian? I'm good. Like, don't tell him I've asked this because he will be raging. Because I like to pretend that I'm a big animal. Because he always knows me as like, I know the front end from the back end of a horse.
Right.
Thanks to my, which I will not discuss.
Sure.
So I like to pretend that I have a lot of information, but when does what is a species compared to like a type? Because like, is a dog a species, but then like you got a border collie, and that's a breed.
But also dogs are mammals, so that's a whole different thing. So then you've got like a species with like a subspecies and like a subspecies and then like a submarine species and.
The submarine species are hard as well because they're always
underwater. Those are amphibians. I think those are the. Yeah, it's very.
Yeah, so it's hard because the subspecies are then amphibians, and it's like, well, hang on, I thought you were a mammal.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, this is why I hugely admire your friend because you take on something like this. You're not just opening a zoo. You need to know what everything is. You need to know what to feed them all. And I
Yeah.
wouldn't know. Anteater, that's easy, right?
Yeah, well, that's unfortunately, it's again, he's got the Encyclopedia of Food, and he's only got A's. So he's got ants, apples,
Right. And
um,
that's
and other things. I'm sure. I mean, I didn't buy him that, so I wouldn't know
oh,
what
that's
those
good. I'm
were.
pleased, yeah, because I also worry. Owning the zoo, he's only got a species. Surely the ants are some of the exhibit. I don't know if you say it's exhibits when they're alive, but he's got ants in one thing, but then he's got to feed them to the anteater because he hasn't bought enough food.
Yeah.
And then you've already lost an exhibit. Wow, this is hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it's really
It's
hard.
hard.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about how difficult his life was. Actually, I feel like I've done a great disservice to him.
It's a
buying him the
hard
book.
life. Yeah, it's people think running zoos are all kinds of fun. I think, but, you read about them in books, and I actually think a lot of the time you gotta. I mean, he won't because it begins with an E. But you got to shovel elephant poo. That's not easy.
Yeah.
You've got to not get bitten by half the things while you're feeding them.
He does actually have to shovel elephant poo still to keep up appearances, because obviously appearance is A, and he knows that he has to make it look like a zoo for the visitors so that they don't go, because he doesn't want people to know. I shouldn't have said this as well.
Right, this is all
old loose lips Hurst over here, but he likes to pretend that he has elephants and zebras and things, so he just has to get their poo from other zoos and and look like he'd be like, oh, you won't believe these elephants, are filthy, and he just does that about 2 to 3 times a day.
Wow, and then people were like, where are they? And he's like, oh, they're hiding in a tree, or they're in your butter, or yeah. I can see it's a good thing about elephants. They're so used to hiding in things. It's a very plausible. And also, I don't know if you found. I don't know how often you visit your friend's zoo or in zoo, but the last time I went to a zoo, there was a lot of stuff I was looking for it, and it was just hiding, and you couldn't see it. And then it was a bit like, come on, I've come to visit you, and
well, look, don't talk to me about hiding animals. I've had it up to about my my knee with them.
That's a really low crouch. I mean,
it was a Shetland,
right?
It was a Shetland,
sure, of course. Oh, this all makes sense, right? Of course,
and it's right. Finally, I feel seen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he wasn't, but yeah, you're right.
No, he wasn't.
No, I would love to back you on this, but I suppose I wasn't there, so I can't be a witness, and I don't.
No, and I wouldn't
think I
expect
can go to horse court. I don't think I'd make it over the hurdles. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Quite high.
They're high hurdles to go to. Obviously, as well, the food's a nightmare. When you get there, it's just sugar cubes and hay.
Yeah. That's awful.
And you're like, oh, is there anywhere to drink? And they'll always lead you somewhere.
Yeah.
But you just don't want to drink it when you get there.
No, it sounds. I
don't know what it is. It's the craziest thing.
It sounds like a silly, awful place, and I don't ever want to go. I'm sorry you have to go there.
It's all right.
But like you say, we just need to. If we could find a way to bring horses to justice in the human world, that would be.
I wouldn't be saddled with such indignities.
Yes. Well, yeah. That is awkward. Because what sits in a saddle for a person, you'd have to get something smaller than you, like a monkey or a.
Yeah,
or a gerbil.
A monkey saddle.
Yeah, a gerbil saddle.
Oh, that'd be nice. I'm not against that.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Well, babies. When people have baby carriers, it's kind of like a little saddle, and they put a baby in it.
Yeah, like you don't see other animals. Other animals don't have a saddle. Like chimps will have their baby holding onto them.
Yeah.
But they don't. They utilize this saddle technology.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a business idea here. Maybe we can go to Dragon's Den.
This is a great business. I would like to see more animals with saddles, with then smaller animals in them. I think, but then you have the issue of when you sit on a horse's saddle, you technically, you sort of steer a horse, even though there's probably questions about how much the horse steers the rider. But you steer the horse. So if there was a smaller animal on top of, say, a dog, if you had a capuchin on a dog, how have you then got a situation where you take the dog for a walk, but the capuchin steers it on a mayhem-like journey, causing millions of pounds in damage, and
of course, and of course that dog has the springs on its feet.
Yes.
Next thing you know,
So maybe this is a safety. I these are the sort of questions that the Dragons or Shark Tank execs would ask us, and I worry
Sure.
that's where I'd fail.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you being so open, and I need this challenging for me to really thrive with my saddle business.
Yeah, I think it's worth. You shouldn't sort of back down because of these obstacles. I think if anything, there is research that can be done safely. It's just that I don't know those. I've never seen a capuchin monkey ride a dog on a saddle and control it and cause mayhem. But that's what I presume would happen. It's all required. It's like all this, like your friends should have done with this. Research, isn't it? It's important.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And I mean, I know a place I can see if an alligator will let an arowana ride it.
That's great.
So
yeah,
that's a start for the research.
that's great. Yeah, I don't know how big are arowanas are they?
They get to about a meter or two.
Yeah,
so
that's
we're gonna have to get a big gator, but I think that'll check out.
That'll work. That's really good. That's really good. Well, look, listen. I mean, look, I'm so pleased you could be here. Obviously, you've got this court case you can't talk about. You're embroiled in that, and there's a lot going on. But I'm pleased that you come on this because we have got a question that I think you're the person that can answer it best. But before we get there, I've got some admin. I hope you're okay with a little bit of admin.
Absolutely.
It's just it's necessary, and the first bit is that I'm not sure if you're aware, but this is an audio podcast, and that means our listeners, they mostly listen to it with their ears, but they may also listen with their knees or their bums. We don't discriminate. However they want to do it, that's fine. And I just wondered if you had a favourite noise that you could either tell us about or preferably even make.
Oh, yeah. Great question. Now, so I've actually got with me a guitar.
Oh wow!
Because I am a musical. I like music. I know. I impressed myself.
Yeah.
In fact, well, I didn't have my slide whistle, which is my favorite noise, which is that sort of.
Oh yes, yeah.
But I like that. I like to imagine that it's like an accordion with legs is having to dip under something and then
right.
Go,
so it's not called it. You can't only use that because I thought that was like a slide whistle. You could only use it while going down a slide.
Oh no, that's just to alert people that there is a slide.
Ah, right. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
When a wild slide appears in an area, it's like.
Right. Well, I didn't know the proper use. So thank you. That's very informative.
Look, I don't know. I don't. It's the years I spent in the Luxembourg Health and Safety Department, which is why I've got the info.
Yeah.
But so here's my favorite chord. If that's all right.
Oh.
Yeah. It's because it's like so you got an so it's like you've got an A, which is like A is a friendly chord. It's like oh we're at home, we're sitting on the sofa, but then you go to an A7, you take out the middle bit, and it's like, and that's it's you're not on the sofa anymore. You're standing up. What's happened? And then this is like. What?
Wow,
there's a mystery's
I love
unfolded.
It. Yeah, it's really
that's what I like.
But what's next? Yeah, what's happened?
Right?
Really
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Did you discover that by accident? Did something occur, and that happened, and then you were like, "What's going on?" Or do you find it on purpose and now succumb to weird sort of mysterious happenings?
Well, it actually happened. So I was walking along. I was walking down the lane. And I was going past a well, and I was like, "Hang on, I think a dog just jumped in there." And then it flew right back up, and I was shocked by that. I had to run over, and that was a shocking sound to see the dog going whoop. And as I was doing that, I tripped on this crouching horse.
Sure.
And the only thing that could break my fall was a guitar that I grabbed, and as I grabbed it, I was like, I went like like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
It's a perfect noise. It makes sense. And now when you play it, because you played it a few times and nothing mysterious has happened now. So it
as far as we know.
So it does. It's more that it occurs when something mysterious is happening, rather than when you play it, something mysterious occurs.
Oh sure, yeah, like a bell ringing for an angel getting the wings and that sort of thing.
Yes.
That's a reference I'm sure the listeners will have
They'll
just on their shelf.
Of course they will. They'll all know it. Yeah. All of them. Wow.
Um,
Well, it's a fantastic note. It's a fantastic chord. What is it? What's the chord
Yeah.
called?
I couldn't. I'm not allowed to say
Oh.
due to the court case.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's the only reason. It's
Sure.
not that it's beyond my musical knowledge at all. That is
Sure.
not the case. It's purely the inconvenience
Yes.
of there being a court case.
Right. Am I
Um,
allowed to guess, or is that would that get you in trouble?
Well, let's see. Well, give it a go, and then maybe we'll hear a noise if it's right.
Well, I just thought because you've got obviously A, B, C, D, E. I wondered if it was something like the chord.
I mean, listeners at home can hear this. I am tapping my nose,
Yes.
and nodding.
Yes.
So
Wow.
I didn't say anything.
No, you didn't. Yeah, I think you're safe. Well, thank you, Eddie. That was a fantastic noise, and really great to have that. I don't think we've ever had anything like that on the podcast before, so it's very exciting. And I hope listeners are able to recreate that, but also I hope they're not, because I worry what they'd have to go through to.
Of course,
recreate
yeah.
it. I don't want them. I hope none of you have to go to a horse court. It sounds awful. So the other bit of admin that I have to do, it's very necessary, is this is a family-friendly podcast, so it's suitable for all ages, every age you can imagine. Can you imagine an age, Eddie?
20.
Yes, absolutely,
Great.
20,
Okay,
suitable
good.
20, suitable for all ages except 100. Long story, won't go into it, but every other age, absolutely suitable for. And because of that, I just wanted to check if there are any rude words you won't be saying.
Yes, there are a few.
Right. Are you allowed to, can you not tell us what they are?
Yeah. I won't be saying stink jam.
Oh, no. Wow. Okay.
I will not say that one. I won't say hecky thump.
Oh, no. Yes. Goodness, no.
And I won't say bean.
Oh.
Bean.
Bean. Is that with
Bean.
three A's? Because I believe with one E and one A, it's okay, isn't it? Like bean.
Yeah. What makes it rude is that it outstays its welcome.
Yes.
That's how it's a naughty word.
Yes. Well, you just saying it like that, like bean, is quite unsettling.
It's like, would you like some baked beans? I love them. Treat. Yeah. Would you like some baked beans?
It's awful.
Absolutely.
No, that's awful.
What's happened to them?
Yeah, it's yeah, it's horrible. I don't like it. That at all.
I'm sorry you had to go through it. But of course I won't be saying that. So
that's it. I was going to say I really appreciate you not saying Stinky Jam is horrific, Hecky Thump, or I mean we would get shut down. That would be the end of not just the end of us. It would be the end of podcasts and the end of all audio noise. I think they would. Radio would be taken down, and it would be quite awful. Everything would have to be visual sounds. So if you don't say Stinky Jam, Hecky Thump, or Bean, I definitely won't say them, and I appreciate that.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you for keeping.
So we won't say Hecky Thump, we won't say Stinky Jam, we won't say Bean.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for keeping
perfect.
our listeners safe. I really appreciate that.
No problem.
Right, now listen, Eddie, we've had this question sent in, and this question is from Jared now it says Jared, it's either US, they're either in the US, or it's us, and Jared is in fact two beings.
Okay.
Jar and Red, or Jar and Ed. I don't know if it's another Ed, another Eddie.
Oh, maybe. I like that.
Yes, so, but I mean, it depends on how... I assumed United States, but maybe it's us, and this may affect the question. I don't know.
Sure.
This is a biggie, but Jared has asked, "Why is me alive?"
I mean, it's a great question, Jared or Jar Ed, and I think it does lead me to think more. It's the us. It's us, because of course me has to be there for other me to be there for there to be us. That'd be my first.
Yes.
First read on that.
Yes. So why is me alive? Do you think it's just one of them asking? Think it's Jar asking, or Ed, or Jar, or Red?
No, I mean I think it's if they're from us, it's got to be both of them, right?
Oh yeah.
But then you're right. It's maybe Jar's broken rank.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wonder if it's like a two-headed creature and they've had a squabble.
Yeah.
And one of them's like, oh, why is me alive? Because they're sick of the other one, and they want to just carry on by themselves.
Yeah, sure. And that is annoying because I've shared rooms before, and that's frustrating. So sharing
Yes.
like another half of a body must be
It'd
a
be
nightmare.
awful. Be awful. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially I don't know who's got the leg. Like, what if you're like, I want to go there, but the other one's like, no, we're going here. That'd be really
Yeah,
annoying.
yeah. Maybe that's like because you always think of like of when you think of a two-headed creature, you think of them as both the heads next door, don't you? But
Yes.
that's doesn't have to be the case. So it could be like one of them sort of by the bum and gets to
Oh,
move the legs and stuff, and then the other one's sort of like under the armpit and gets to move the arms that way.
and that would be awful because the one by the bum would have to deal with whatever the other one ate. They have to deal with those smells, and the one by the
Yeah, sure.
armpit, because when the legs are moving, you're getting all sweaty, and then the one by the armpit has
Yeah,
to. No wonder they fight.
exactly. Everybody has their burdens to carry, and
Yes.
and they're no different.
Yeah, this sounds wow. That's a horrific situation. I mean, Can I throw a spanner into the works here as well? Because it could be that me is also a person. It could be like a nickname for like
Yeah,
Miki. They could be
yeah.
called or Michaela or Morris Echelons. It could be
Oh
could
yeah,
be
yeah.
initials.
Menelaus.
Yes. Oh, very
Uh,
possibly Menelaus. Actually, that's perfect.
if you're friends with Menelaus, I know a lot of people are. A
Hmm.
popular person. Maybe
Why is
maybe
Menelaus
maybe
alive?
yeah. I don't know if seen the scrapes he's been in. I'm surprised too.
Yeah, I wonder. I think, yeah. Does he take a lot of vitamins?
Probably. Because there are those Menelaus chewy chews, aren't there? The vitamin
Yes,
chews.
yes. Maybe that's it. Well, I mean, what's your what? Because it's a hard question to ask. You're asking why is
Mm.
anything alive? Obviously, it's Menelaus. Might be
I've
vitamins,
just
but
I've just had a thought though as well. Like, why is me alive? Well, because something's got to come after Do Ray and go before Fa Sol La Ti Do.
yes,
So maybe they mean it like that.
yeah. Because what would happen if me wasn't in that rhyme?
I don't know. We don't know. Music might fall apart for all we know, because music makes us feel alive. So obviously, me has to be alive to be in there.
Wow, that's really important actually, and I think you've because me is probably one of the most pivotal bits of that song.
Yeah, yeah. Do re mi fa sol la ti do. It's because nobody ever really. And you know what, Jared, you're right, because nobody ever goes along and says like, "Oh, me's my favorite part," because it's like do a deer, female deer, Ray a drop a golden sun. We love a deer.
Yeah,
We love sun.
yeah.
Me a name I call myself. Okay, it's
Mm.
nobody's clambering to give me the top spot of the best line in it, but I like it.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those. It's a bit like sort of one of those pillars in a building that no one really. They don't think it's very important. They might not even put a picture on it.
Yeah.
But if you remove it, it comes crumbling down.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's the little bit in a Lego set, the
Mm.
plain coloured bit you get in the middle that you
Yes.
think, oh, what? Why have I got to put this in here?
Yes.
And then your house falls apart if you don't have that the five white 2x2s.
Yep. Yep. That's it. No more Elsa's Frozen Palace. Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
entirely. Yeah. I totally agree. So I mean, it is very possible that Jared. It was. I knew this was a question for you, and you are a musical being. It's very likely then that they mean me. Can you? Does it? Would it be do re fa? Do re fa? What would it be if there was
Do,
no
re,
me?
fa. It doesn't bear thinking about. Do re fa sol la ti do.
Mm.
I mean, it puts the timing off that. So, there's like, how many of the Von Trapps are there?
There's loads. Aren't
It's
there?
not
It's just
that
loads.
but each one of them needs their own line.
Yes,
And
they
if you
do.
get rid of me, one of them's going to stay up all night.
Wondering why they've been left out. Yeah.
Yeah, be silly running down the hall, waking all the others up.
Yeah. I mean, is there? I mean, because they're also questioning why is it alive? Do you think it just naturally sort of evolved as part of it? Do you think it was the
Hmm.
first bit, and then did someone make it? Was it built?
Hmm. Well, I think there must have been a point when me was written, like in the song, and then there was a point where like a click and it came alive, and people were like, "Whoa, it's alive, honey! We're jamming."
Wow.
I think that might have happened. Certainly, and maybe it's like this is actually Jared's way of saying, you know what, me is alive.
Yeah.
Why? What are you? Listen, Daddy-O, why is me alive? It's bopping.
Wow. So Jared's a sort of like a kind of 50s kind of mod.
My understanding
he's
is
from
that,
the US,
yeah.
and I think that's how everyone
Yeah.
is over there. As far
I think he's sort of hipster hepcat kind of figure.
Yes, I like it. Yes. Wow. And why is me alive? And then that, I mean, it's a great question, but it's very hard to know why music just really gets people sometimes, like certain notes, certain songs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you lose control sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to say to Jared if that's the case. It's just, great. It's great that he or they, if they are more than one, that they found their bit of music that really gets them going.
Yeah. And I'm glad. I'm like Jared or Jared. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's great. I think it's great that people listen to things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if they didn't, this would be a real waste of time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If we all just sit down and listen a bit more, who knows what we'd do? Well, we'd sit down and listen, wouldn't we? That would be, actually answer my own question.
Yeah, it's still a nice thought. It means you wouldn't have to go up and do anything. And if you weren't walking around, you wouldn't step on a horse.
Well, that's all right. Okay, there's no need for that.
No, I was saying that's yeah, sure. I'm sorry that came out. Yeah, listen, Eddie, I'm very great. I'm very grateful you could be here. And that I hope Jared likes Jared likes the answer.
Of course.
I think it feels like you've really got it. What they mean there. And what have you got going? Obviously, you can't discuss the court case. Have you got much else going on, or is that? I suppose that's probably most of your life.
That's a lot of my life. Also, what else am I up to? I like to walk my dog sometimes.
Great.
It's good. Don't go near wells anymore.
Sure.
And we have had to sack off the saddle.
Sure.
But you do what you can.
Yeah.
I like going on long walks. I like just making connections as well. It's always pleasant. Yeah.
Great. Well, good luck with the long walks, with the making connections on the walks and walking with the dog without the saddle, without the wells. Good luck, and obviously good luck with the case. But I don't want to keep dwelling.
Of course, no problem. Actually, I'm just going to have to. I think I can hear my phone ringing, so I'm just going to go answer that. What are you doing behind the curtain?
Oh no!
Tiernan, I'm so sorry. I don't know if anybody heard it, but I think I've stood in a crouching horse again.
Oh, Eddie, I'm so sorry. Well, listen, we will. At least you've got a witness. I was here. I've witnessed it.
Okay. And of course, everybody who listened.
Yes. That wasn't how I was hoping this would end, but good luck to you, and maybe we'll get you back whenever your sentence at horse prison is done.
Okay, well, they might have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
So call in.
I probably have quite a stable connection. Yeah.
Yeah, I could probably call in. See how that's going.
Sure.
I could recanter my tale to you.
Sure. Yeah. This sounds great. And hopefully that won't be the case. And
no, I hope
we
not.
will be speaking to you after you release your book, Stepping on Crouched Horses: How I Survived the Edy Hurst Tale.
It would be it's and then : if I did it.
Yes, of course. Thanks, tons.
This is the largest sock in the world.
Thanks so much to Eddie for taking time out of his concerning horse-based court case to answer Jared's question, and I do hope, Jared, that you enjoyed your answer. If, of course, you didn't, please feel free to give your complaint to a horse, and then everyone will avoid it, so they don't get sued. I should also say sorry to Jared, as he sent in that question ages ago in a review rather than by emailing it to me, and it got lost somewhere in the pile for a bit, but I'm pleased it has now finally been answered. If you have any questions you need answering, or you just want to send in jokes, intros, anything you like, then do get your disgruntled burger heads, grown-ups, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclubforkids.co.uk. Do check out when our live shows are near you at comedyclubforkids.co.uk, and support this show by grabbing a t-shirt or our book at comedyclubforkids.store. Now, listen, while you are all tuning into the importantest bit, I have been laying out some traps. Oh yes, I went to the shops and I bought 5 million pairs of socks that are all matched up, and I've laid them around Comedy Club for Kids HQ, leading to a sneaky trap. And hopefully, when whatever it is that grabs all the socks grabs them, I will be able to catch it and get it to stop. Oh, here we go.
Oh, hey, no fair, let me go.
What are you? You look like a sort of evil, mean sock. What are you doing with all my socks and that one pair?
Oh, that's what it was. It tasted disgusting. I am Bod, the oddest sock, and I only eat cheese. Ugh, I never want to eat a pair again. They are horrid. And that little sticky bit at the top is not very nice.
You're not meant to eat that bit. You're just meant to eat the sort of the fleshy bit. You don't eat the middle bit or the... Anyway, look, you've been eating all my socks, have you? Because I want you to stop it, please. One of my feet is very cold.
I'm not eating your socks. I'm making them odd like me. I only eat cheese from the bottom of feet. I'm not a weirdo.
Ugh.
It's very normal, actually.
So hang on, so let me get this straight. You want all socks to be odd like you?
Odd socks everywhere! If I can't find my pair, no one can.
You can't find your pair? Hang on, let me see. You've got a sort of monkey print on you.
Yes, little monkeys with bananas, blue stripe on the top and at the heel. I'm very smart indeed. My other half disappeared long ago, and if I can't be part of a double act, no sock can!
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, I have seen your pair. I have seen that other sock. Let me just have a look in all these socks. Hang on a second. Right, yeah, there it is. Here you go.
Oh, amazing. Oh, sorry then, I'll give all your socks back and go away. I think I probably should have just looked properly instead of really overreacting and taking all of your socks. I'm very sorry.
Yes, you really should.
Here's your socks back. Bleh! Bye!
Well, that was disgusting. I'm not sure I want to wear any of these now, at least not until I've put them in the wash. Or wait, I could just put a different clean sock on each foot, couldn't I, and just be wearing a pair of odd socks. I'm not sure why I didn't do that in the first place. Silly me, what an absolute waste of all your time. Anyway, I'll see you all next week. Bye!
You have been listening to
Comedy Club for Kids presents.
Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. It's the end.